soldiers have been martyred at the end.
China continues its provocative mobilization while India matches China troop for troop.
Tensions between China and India had been
major powers at one disputed Himalayan border. India and China blame each other for confrontations over the past month.
Of skirmishes between opposing troops.
The mountains of disputed Kashmir. No shots were fired, but soldiers clashed and died. There are claims brutal, basic weapons were used. Two nuclear powers were in hand-to-hand combat, and both blame the other.
We're getting you a breaking update on the India-China standoff. India is now preparing for any Chinese aggression along the line of action.
That could have global repercussions. The border standoff between India and China has turned deadly for the first time in many decades. The Indian army reported the deaths of 20 of their soldiers on Tuesday.
So the beautiful valley of Ladakh is a cold, dry and high altitude territory with extremely scarce vegetation. It's basically a cold desert. The Ladakh region shares its borders with two of India's most sensitive neighbors, Pakistan in the west and China in the east. Most of the wars that have been fought by India since independence have been fought in this region. It is a very important geostrategic place both for India and China. The border dispute between the Union of India and the People's Republic of China began in the 1950s when China built a highway connecting its Xinjiang region with Tibet, bypassing the regions of Ladakh. It later escalated to the Indo-China War of 1962. The war changed the borders of northern India, where China occupied the Aksai Chin region, an area of around 38,000 square kilometers, and it remains under Chinese administration till today. The line of actual control, or the LAC, today stands like this, and it is divided into three sectors. The Ladakh region as the western sector, the areas of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand as central sector, and the borders of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh as the eastern sector. It stretches over 4,000 kilometers and it is an ambiguous line.
You are in Indian territory.
Listen. The line is very clear. But your future house over there.
The persistent presence of troops by both China and India in the eastern sector has created much less ambiguity in both sides of the LAC, but this isn't the case for the western sector. Its high altitude, harsh weather conditions and difficult terrain is why both sides cannot station troops, leaving ample room for minor changes. This is why tensions tend to flare up much more frequently than in the eastern sector or the middle sector. In the western sector, there is room for imagination, advancement and alterations, leading to altercations. Both countries' perception of the LAC is quite different. The area between finger 1 to 3 is in Indian territory, and the area between finger 4 to finger 8 is disputed territory and is called the Grey Area. This summer, the confrontations began on 5th of May with confrontations near the Pangong Lake. The Chinese PLA started building encampments and moving in troops near the Finger 4 area, which led to altercations and physical confrontations, and it later escalated and led to the death of 20 Indian soldiers.
भारत के राष्ट्रपति द्वारा इस घोषणा पर हस्ताक्षर किए जाएंगे और इसे सरकारी गैजेट में प्रकाशित किया जाएगा। उस दिन से अनुच्छेद 370 के सभी खंड लागू नहीं होंगे, सिवाय खंड 1 के नामक तदनुसार पढ़ा जाएगा। संविधान के समय समय पर संशोधित
Ladakh, the two Union territories that will come into existence from tomorrow. In the backdrop of the revoking of Article 370 on August 5th,
मैं जब जम्मू एंड कश्मीर बोलता हूं,
माननीय सदस्य,
इसलिए एग्रेसिव हूं कि जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के पीएसओ को आप भारत का हिस्सा नहीं मानते हो क्या? एग्रेसिव ना हो, जान दे देंगे इसके लिए। क्या बात कर रहे हो आप? एग्रेसिव होने की क्या बात कर रहे हो? जान दे देंगे इसके लिए।
The abrogation of Article 370 and 35A bifurcating the state of Jammu and Kashmir into the two union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, bringing the area under the control of the center. The thundering speech of the Home Minister Amit Shah in Parliament saying that Aksai Chin and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir were an integral part of India and that he would give up his life for it may have struck fear in the Chinese. Given the geostrategic importance of this area, we can understand why the two global powers are fighting over this barren land. The clash should not come as a surprise. Similar events have been occurring along this border for years, but only the few most heated ones make it to the news.